Previously on the
Mayumi.
Breakup Diaries.
Oh, thank you for knowing. How sweet.
Bandits turning into me, but how happy can she ever really be?
Another thing that I got from the dumpster: don't take things at face value. You must always see things at its potential.
I feel it right where I don't want
Is it my room just... It's pretty dope.
I wanna know what the word is when somebody like you's in the building. Place on fire, I'm so lit. You're just it, you're all I want. Kicking back for a minute when I can't keep my cool, come get it. Let's turn in, turn lights out, play fight now. Oh, oh, you went and took it to the floor. Stay by my side, I wanna ride like fight or die. Love you for life, you turn me on.
long hair silhouette, champagne cigarettes.
Alright, we are at the airport and it's been forever since I've been within this vibe. We made it on time, even if I just had my ART testing just this morning. Anyway, it's 11 and my flight is at 2.
Blame it on the internet. I try so hard to be something I'm not.
Look down.
I just hope that someone else can make me stop.
I am coming home. Alright, I am on my way home to the Philippines. It's been a little more than 2 years.
Call me out, I'll be overwhelmed. And I'm sorry for not speaking up. I never share my
So many things has changed since the last time I went home. We did visit October 2019 for a travel in Egypt, Dubai, Turkey. Then we came back home to the Philippines and then we traveled to South Korea and stayed a little over a month in the Philippines again. And when the pandemic hit, right before the borders shut, we went back to Singapore. And back then I was still with my ex-husband, and as you all know, I'm single again. So a lot of things has definitely changed. I've been single for 7 months now, and I went through the entire breakup alone in a foreign country without proper support system. So I'm really excited to just really let all of these baggages go and be in my hometown again. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been in Singapore for 9 years. So home means so many things to me, but I've noticed that in times of crisis is when you really know where your comfort zone lies. And I realized that I don't have a support system in Singapore as much as I do in the Philippines. You can see I talk to my dad a lot. I talk to my brothers and my cousin. The best people that has given me the support system that I really needed in these difficult times are all in the Philippines.
I headed west, pictures at the discotheque. I try so hard to be something new.
I'm in such a pivotal transition period because I am to decide where I want to spend the rest of my lives moving forward, at least for the immediate future. I didn't want to shake the boat too much by changing my situation or my environment as well by suddenly just moving and packing back to the Philippines, because then I'm not just mourning the loss of an ex, but the loss of a routine, the life that I had in Singapore. Not gonna lie, every time I go through difficult situations, especially if it is concerning the matters of the heart, my immediate response is to go home to the Philippines because Singapore is not that far. Because it was so difficult, there were so many requirements, not to mention that it was so expensive. It wasn't an option for me, unfortunately, because the borders were practically shut.
Hi, so it's been 3 weeks since the separation, and today I just woke up really feeling down, and there are really wonderful days in the past 3 weeks, but today is not one of those. Stop doing anything, stop thinking about anything, stop writing, stop forcing myself to be productive or to move forward, because there just are some days wherein there's this huge cloud over your head. And I think I just have to sit this one out. I mean, that's how it goes, right?
I felt like that situation of me processing it on my own internally for 6 months was really needed for my healing. I was forced to acknowledge the strength that I have to process it on my own. But since I've done the baseline inner work, I'm so happy that the borders are now open again. I booked the ticket no matter how broke I am so that I can recalibrate on what I want to do and what home really means like to me. When I booked that ticket more or less 2 weeks ago, just imagining me landing in the Philippines and getting to hug my brothers and my father just brings tears to my eyes because there's simply no place like home. To be surrounded by people who truly care for you.
But given the gravity of the situation, I think I'm handling it really well because I'm in survival mode. I didn't have a sheltered life. I had my fair share of losses. Like, I lost my mom when I was 14 as well. So I think those experiences has really prepared me for this separation. I've been with my ex for 6.5 years, and I built a completely new routine, a new purpose with this guy. And I just looked at it in a certain way, like, okay, this is how problem solving goes. You have a problem, recognize the problem. Are there solutions to this? What can be solved? What can be done? What do you need to do? Because I have an option to go home to the Philippines because that's originally where I'm from. But at the same time, I've been in Singapore for 8.5 years. That's a lot. That's almost a decade. What's tempting me to go home to the Philippines is because my family and my friends, my core support system are there. But at the same time, what's stopping me is the resistance for change, because I've been in Singapore, such a convenient and comfortable country, for almost a decade now, and I don't think the same way as I did when I was in the Philippines too. You know, it's the mindset, the culture, the lifestyle. I'm a totally different person.
So what I'm really trying to achieve when I go home is to have that sense of clarity, to know if it feels right. Because in my head, I've already processed everything that may transpire from A to Z. Like, if I do this decision, this is what's gonna happen, this is how I'm gonna react, versus if I do this decision. So it's all well planned out and processed in my head. But sometimes we have to have that feeling, and that's what we're gonna base our decisions for, if it feels right. And once I go home, I'm sure I'm gonna feel whether Philippines would have the potential to be home again. Yes, I'm ready to be home. I'm ready to be in the Philippines again. Or it might have the opposite effect of, nah, I need to go back to Singapore. But anyway, this trip is very short. It's only for 2 weeks to prepare me for a bigger decision.
It's a curse or a consequence of some last line of defense. I try so hard to be something you want. I just hope that someone else can make this stop. 'Cause I think I'm turning around. Oh, it's time to stop pretending.
By the way, don't you just love my belly? I love it. By the way, Philippines, I don't think you're ready for me. I am arriving in my crop top. Deal with it. I know this sounds so petty, but when I was writing on my board on the pros and cons on where I'm gonna stay moving forward, I had considerations that were so petty, like, oh, my wardrobe. I realized that I have nothing that is Philippine friendly. I'm sure lots of people wear crop tops in there, but I don't know. I'm no longer the same Mayumi as I was back when I was in the Philippines 9 years ago. You know, I left the Philippines when I was 24. Now I'm 33. Anyway, my dad doesn't know that I'm coming home, so I'm really excited to see how his reaction would be, because although he was really strong in knowing what I'm going through, and although he trusts, he raised me well to be strong to face this, I'm sure deep down inside there's worries for him. So I'm sure this is really gonna be reassuring for him to finally get a hug from me and to tell him straight up for myself that, hey, your princess is okay.
And I'm sorry for not speaking up. I never share my feelings. Now I finally get to be myself.
excited to let go of all of these baggages that I've been facing for the past 7 months. I don't know, this is going to change the perspective. And this is the first time I'm traveling since February 2020 and it's March 2022. I needed that stability in just staying in one place for a change, because before the pandemic happened, I never stayed in one country for more than 4 months. So it was exciting, but there was a lot of instability. You never get to establish roots in one place because you're not there long enough to build a life. I got what I wanted, I got what I wished for. That's why they say be careful for what you wish for. That's exactly what I got. Being in the airport is so surreal. It's been a while since I've traveled. Last time I was here, I was with my ex. It's because we travel often. There are so many routines that we do together, like just as simple as packing, planning. I used to plan all our travels down to a T, but now I'm just like winging it, you know, just let it be. And a friend of mine said, oh, you must already plan your schedule, what your adventures are gonna be like in the Philippines. And I said, trust me, in the Philippines, it is all sorted because of the few people that knows that I'm gonna go home, my schedule's already packed. It just makes me feel like I matter, which quite frankly, I didn't feel like I did for the past 6 months.
Anyway, exciting things ahead. I have so many things lined up, but my main goal is just to be with family. I want to dive if I could, and I want to visit the dentist. Just hugging my dad and seeing my nephews and seeing my brothers, you know, unspoken words of support is more than enough for me to close this chapter of being burdened.